This is Mr. Eugene, and today we're talking about something that has frustrated men in relationships for generations. Something so consistently experienced across cultures, ages, and relationship types that it cannot be dismissed as coincidence or individual personality. Your woman did something wrong. You both know it. She knows it. You know it. The evidence is clear. The impact on you was real, and yet the apology never comes. Not a real one, anyway. Maybe you get a subject change. Maybe she makes your favorite meal the next day. Maybe she becomes suddenly affectionate. Maybe she just waits for enough time to pass and acts like nothing happened. But the direct, clear, genuine acknowledgement of wrongdoing, the simple words, "I was wrong and I'm sorry," almost never. I'm 40 years old and I can count on one hand the genuine, unprompted apologies I've received from women in my life. And I'm not saying I've only been surrounded by terrible women. I'm saying that women as a group find it extraordinarily difficult to apologize for bad behavior. And this pattern is costing marriages enormously. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why women don't apologize, what they do instead, why their substitutes feel so hollow to men, and what this pattern costs relationships long-term. Understanding this won't make the apology appear, but it will help men stop being confused, stop taking it personally, and start responding in ways that actually address the real problem. Let me start with the fundamental difference in how men and women see relationship problems. Because this difference explains everything. When you have a conflict with your wife, when she does something wrong that hurts or upsets you, here is how you see the situation as a man. There was a behavior. She did something specific. That behavior was wrong or harmful. As a result of that behavior, you are now angry or hurt. In your mind, the behavior is the problem. Your emotional response is the consequence of that problem. The solution is straightforward. She acknowledges the behavior was wrong. She takes responsibility. She commits to changing. You receive the acknowledgement. Your hurt is validated. You move forward together. This seems completely logical. Because it is completely logical, behavior caused harm, acknowledgement repairs harm, relationship moves forward. Clean, direct, rational. But here is how she sees the exact same situation. And this is where everything breaks down. From her perspective, the problem is not her behavior. The problem is that you are angry and upset. Your emotional state is the problem she's trying to solve, not the behavior that created it. As strange as that sounds to a man, there's a certain internal logic to it. If the goal is restoring relationship harmony, and the disruption to that harmony is your anger and upset, then solving your anger and upset solves the problem from her framework. So instead of addressing the behavior, she focuses entirely on changing your emotional state. If she can get you from angry back to okay, the problem is solved, in her mind. This is why you don't get apologies. You get subject changes. You get her making your favorite dinner the night after. You get sudden affection and warmth after conflict. You get her acting like nothing happened once enough time has passed. All of these are strategies to reduce your anger and upset, to move you emotionally from the negative state back to neutral or positive. None of them address the behavior. None of them involve accountability. None of them give you what you actually need. And this is the core of the problem she's solving for your emotional state. You need acknowledgement of behavior. These are completely different solutions to what she sees as the same problem. Let me show you how this plays out in a specific situation so the pattern is completely clear. She made a significant financial decision without consulting you. Spent money you were both saving for something important. It wasn't malicious, but it was wrong. It violated your agreement and your trust. You address it calmly but directly. You explain why it was wrong. You explain how it affected you. You explain what you needed her to do differently. She gets defensive initially, then goes quiet, then leaves the room. The next morning, she's making your favorite breakfast, warm, affectionate, acting like yesterday didn't happen. You're still waiting for the acknowledgement, still waiting for her to say, "I was wrong to spend that money," without talking to you first. "I understand why you're upset. I'm sorry." It doesn't come. Breakfast comes. Affection comes. Normal behavior comes. The apology doesn't come. From her perspective, she solved the problem. She saw you were upset. She did things to improve your emotional state. You seem less angry this morning. Problem solved. From your perspective, nothing was solved. The behavior was never acknowledged. Your hurt was never validated. The trust issue was never addressed. She just waited for your anger to reduce and moved on. You feel dismissed, disrespected, like your legitimate hurt doesn't matter, like she can do wrong without consequence or acknowledgement, like you don't deserve the basic decency of an honest sorry, and you're right to feel this way. Now let me explain the deeper psychological reasons why genuine apology is so difficult for women. An apology requires admitting you were wrong, and admitting you were wrong requires a moment of genuine vulnerability, a lowering of defenses, an acknowledgement of fault. For many women, this feels genuinely threatening, not logically threatening, emotionally threatening. Like admitting fault means losing something essential, losing status, losing ground, losing the upper hand. This connects to the feelings as truth framework many women operate under. If she apologizes, she's acknowledging objective reality overrides her feelings. She felt justified. If she apologizes, she's admitting her feelings didn't justify her behavior. That's deeply uncomfortable for someone who's been taught her feelings are always valid. Women are heavily socialized to maintain social harmony at all costs, avoiding conflict, keeping peace, making sure everyone feels okay. Genuine apology requires temporarily disrupting harmony. Saying directly "I was wrong" means acknowledging that the relationship is currently not in harmony because of her specific behavior. This directly conflicts with her deep programming to maintain harmony. So she chooses methods that restore harmony without disrupting it further. Breakfast, affection, subject change. These restore surface harmony without the discomfort of genuine accountability. From a cultural perspective, women have been collectively protected from accountability in ways men haven't. The "women are wonderful" effect means female wrongdoing is consistently minimized, excused, or overlooked. Women receive significantly more charitable interpretations of their behavior. This means many women reach adulthood having rarely been genuinely held accountable for bad behavior, rarely having been required to apologize sincerely, rarely experiencing the discomfort of facing their own wrongdoing directly. The accountability muscle is underdeveloped, not because women are inherently incapable, but because they've rarely been required to exercise it. Here's what makes this pattern particularly painful for men, and why the substitutes she offers feel so hollow. When someone wrongs you and then genuinely apologizes, several things happen simultaneously. Your experience is validated. What happened to you was real and wrong. Your feelings are acknowledged, your hurt was legitimate, the relationship is rebalanced, the wrong is named and owned, trust is repaired. She acknowledged the behavior and committed to change. This is why apology matters so much to men. It's not about winning, not about making her feel bad. It's about having your experience validated, your feelings acknowledged, the relationship honestly addressed. When she makes breakfast instead of apologizing, none of that happens. Your experience is not validated. Your feelings are not acknowledged. The behavior is not addressed. The trust is not repaired. You're just expected to move on without any of it. The breakfast might taste good, but it doesn't give you what you actually needed. This is why men describe feeling invisible in their marriages. Feeling like their hurt doesn't matter. Feeling like they're expected to absorb wrongdoing without acknowledgement. Feeling like they're the only one held accountable for their behavior while she operates without consequences. It's not imagined. It's a real pattern with real psychological roots. This pattern has serious long-term consequences for marriages that men need to understand clearly. When her behavior is never acknowledged and never changes, the behavior continues. There's no reason for it to change. No accountability means no consequence. No consequence means no incentive to change. The same harmful behaviors repeat indefinitely because they never face genuine reckoning. Every unacknowledged wrong adds to a growing pile of resentment. You absorb it, suppress it. Try to move on without resolution, but it accumulates, month after month, year after year, until the resentment is so massive it poisons your entire perception of her and the marriage. When you stop expecting apologies, when you learn that accountability doesn't exist in your marriage, you stop bringing issues up. Stop addressing her behavior. Stop trying to have honest conversations about real problems. You become the withdrawn, silent, emotionally unavailable husband she complains about. But she created him. By consistently refusing the accountability that would have kept him engaged and willing to communicate, every time she substitutes breakfast for apology, she's communicating something to you whether she intends to or not. I can do wrong without owning it. My comfort matters more than your validation. You should accept less than you deserve. This communication slowly erodes your respect for her, not through one incident, through the accumulation of hundreds of incidents where you needed acknowledgement and received deflection. Men need to stop waiting for apologies that aren't coming and start responding to the actual pattern in ways that address it directly. When she substitutes affection or subject change for genuine acknowledgement, name it clearly. I appreciate the breakfast, but what I actually need is for you to acknowledge what happened yesterday and tell me you understand why it was wrong. Don't let the substitute satisfy the need. Make the need explicit. Don't accept the surface harmony restoration as resolution. We're not okay yet. We'll be okay when we've actually addressed what happened. Until then, I'm not pretending everything is fine. This is uncomfortable. She'll push back. She'll feel like you're being difficult or refusing to move on. Hold the line. Genuine resolution requires genuine acknowledgement. If she resists accountability, explain clearly and simply why it matters to you. When you do something that hurts me and we move on without you acknowledging it, I feel like my experience doesn't matter to you, like I'm expected to absorb whatever happens without it being acknowledged. That's not partnership, that's one-sided. Keep it about impact on you, not about attacking her character. Over time, if she consistently refuses genuine accountability, make the consequence clear. I can't keep investing fully in a marriage where I'm the only one who faces accountability for my behavior. If you're never able to acknowledge when you're wrong, we need to address that seriously because it's slowly destroying what we have. Real boundary. Real consequence, real willingness to enforce it. Here's something important that men need to hear. The goal is not to make her suffer, not to punish her for not apologizing, not to win arguments or prove you're right. The goal is genuine partnership, equal accountability. A marriage where both people can acknowledge wrongdoing, repair harm, and build trust through honest interaction. That's a healthier marriage for both people. For her as much as for you. Because a marriage without mutual accountability isn't working for either person, even if she doesn't fully recognize it yet. Some women, when this is explained clearly and the impact is made real, can develop genuine accountability, can learn to apologize, can understand why it matters, and start doing it. These women are worth the difficult conversations, worth the uncomfortable boundary setting, worth the patient but firm insistence on genuine acknowledgement. The women who simply refuse, who escalate, who turn every attempt at accountability into attack on them, those women are telling you clearly that mutual partnership is not something they're capable of or willing to practice. That information is important. Act on it accordingly. She knows she was wrong. She still won't apologize. Not because she doesn't care about you, not necessarily because she's malicious, but because her framework says the problem is your emotional state, not her behavior. Because accountability feels threatening to her identity, because she's been protected from genuine accountability most of her life, because she's been taught that restoring harmony matters more than honest acknowledgement. Understanding this doesn't make it acceptable. It doesn't mean you should keep absorbing wrongdoing without acknowledgement. It means you understand what you're dealing with. You can name it clearly. You can insist on what you actually need. You can set real boundaries around accountability. You can make the consequences of continued unaccountability explicit. And you can stop being confused or taking it personally when the apology doesn't come. It's not about you specifically, it's a deeply programmed pattern that many women carry. Your job is refusing to accept less than you deserve, insisting on genuine partnership, requiring mutual accountability as non-negotiable foundation of your marriage. Men, how many of you have spent years waiting for an apology that never came? How many of you recognize the breakfast instead of sorry pattern from your own marriage? Subscribe for the relationship truth that finally explains what you've been experiencing and gives you tools to address it.